I used to be a hand spinner. In my late 30s, I went to a yarn show in Devon, and there was a stallholder that I knew at the time. I bought a drop spindle, and whoever the stallholder was, I think she was drop spindling on her stall, so she showed me how to do it, and I thought that sounds like fun. So I bought a drop spindle and some fibre, and I taught myself to spin on the drop spindle. This was in August. I very quickly realized that I didn't really like drop spindling. I always ended up with my arm kind of right up in the air, which is probably not the way to do it. But as the fibre grew longer and longer, my arm just went higher and higher with the spindle, and I had problems with my shoulders, my neck. And in those days, because my kids were still younger, they were in their early and mid-teens at the time, life was still really busy at home, and I was in quite a lot of pain, a lot more pain than I'm in now that the kids are older or have left home. So I struggled with the drop spindling. It was just causing me too much pain. So 4 months later, for Christmas, I decided to get a spinning wheel. So I looked, somebody told me they'd seen a spinning wheel advertised in my local area at on a website. So I rang up and went to look at it and came home with an Ashford Traveller, which is a very, very popular wheel. I spun on that for a while, and then for my 40th birthday, which I don't know how much later that was, I would guess like a year or two, maybe, probably a couple of years later, or maybe 3 years later, I can't remember. But a few years later, I turned 40, and my parents told me they wanted to buy me a special present. So I said I would really like a spinning wheel, because I think the spinning wheel I bought was around £500 at the time, which was quite a lot of money as I wasn't working at that time. So it's still a lot of money if you're working, let's face it. I was going to a show a few weeks later around the time of my birthday, and there was a company there that sells spinning wheels from the brand I wanted. So I went and looked, and they didn't have the wheel I wanted, but they had another wheel, and I tried it and I really liked it. So I said, okay, I'll take it. If you are new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So I bought a Major Craft, and it's a little gem. I wanted the Susie, I'm not sure if it was called Susie or Susie Pro, I can't remember, but I ended up with a little gem, and it's a beautiful little wheel. You can fold it up, and it comes with a travel bag, which I need to see if I can find. And I thought I could take it to spinning groups and things like that. I only went to my local spinning group once or twice because I didn't know anyone there, and I didn't really enjoy it. And it was also on a Saturday once a month, and at the time, because my kids were early and mid-teens, they had activities and things, and it felt unfair to like disappear off for a whole day on a Saturday once a month. And then if you miss a month because you got the stuff on, and then you miss 2 or 3 in a row, it's a big chunk of time. So I think I went once and twice, and I didn't go again. But recently I realized that I know quite a few people now who go to the spinning group, and they still meet in the same place and on the same day. So I have been thinking about it for a while. I should really get into spinning again and go. So at the beginning of this year, I decided I was going to get my spinning wheel back into action. January was when I decided that, and I knew that the dry band had broken. So I ordered a new dry band, and I put it somewhere very safe. I'll come to that in a minute. Just remember, somewhere very safe where I would definitely find it again. Remember that. It's important. And then I realised I couldn't go in February. Can't remember why. I couldn't go in March. I think that's because I was in Norway. So the earliest I'd be able to go would be April. So I thought I've got plenty of time to sort this wheel out and get a bit of practice in. Anyway, the group is tomorrow. It is now Friday afternoon at 2:22. I've got an appointment in an hour and a half, and I have still not got my wheel going. So now I'm going to take you downstairs in a minute. I'm going to show you how I'm going to clean it up. I need to see if I can find some oils, because you probably need oiling, and I need to see if I got some sewing machine oil. Not sure I do. And then I'm going to change the dry band on it. Now remember I said about the dry band earlier? Yes, I bought a dry band in January. Now a friend of mine said you can just tie a bit of string around it, but it had a proper dry band, so I wanted a proper dry band. And the little gem has 2 dry bands, so when I ordered it, I thought I'll order both, even though the other one is fine. I'll order both just in case. So I ordered them, I put it somewhere very safe, and it stayed in that very safe space till a couple of weeks ago when I thought, right, let's spend some time getting this wheel sorted. And could I find this dry band? I looked everywhere. I even tidied up parts of my office, on my desk and some drawers and things, anywhere I thought I could have put it. I have a spinning basket downstairs, but I haven't touched for years. And it wasn't there. It wasn't anywhere around my spinning wheel. I couldn't find it. So last week I finally gave in and I ordered another dry band. This time I only ordered the one that I needed because they're not cheap. And then that arrived. And then last week I was tidying up a bit and I moved some stuff on the windowsill that's been there for months. Windowsill in the dining room can be a bit of a dumping ground because I put my camera holder and my light that I use when I film tutorials on there. And there was a couple of knitted samples, as 2 cowl samples that were on there, and some bit of yarn and things that I used for a tutorial. Well, under all that was my 2 dry bands. But by this point, the new dry band was already on its way. So I've actually put my new dry band, I think, up on the wall. Yes, I pinned it up on the wall behind me. When I stopped spinning was when I was writing my first book. A little plug here, Beaded Lace Knitting. This was published in 2015. So I was writing it in 2014. I finished it summer 2014. And I stopped spinning around the time when I started writing that book because I wrote this whole book in 7 months. I had a deadline of 6 months and I asked for a month-long extension. It has 25 patterns. I didn't knit more than 1, maybe 2 of them. Most of my sample knitters did knitting because I had such a quick deadline. But I wrote all the patterns and all the technique section. So it was a huge job to put all that together. And I was also trying to keep on top of my other magazine designs. So I was trying to keep my magazine designs going just so I wouldn't lose any of those jobs, if you like. And I just didn't have time to spin. And then I've never gotten back into it again. And I really liked it because this beautiful wheel's been sitting in my lounge for years collecting dust, and it's time to get it back working again. In fact, another funny story. A few years ago, quite a few years ago now, my kids were still teenagers, I think. We had a break-in. We've been out one Saturday, sunny Saturday in the summer. We came home and we realised that somebody had come in through our kitchen window. And they walked into the lounge, picked up our television. We'd just got a new television 6 months before. It was our first flat screen television, and I wouldn't let my husband get the size he wanted. I made him get we got a smaller one. If I'd let him get the size he wanted, it might have been too big to pick up and walk out of the house with. But anyway, the burglar picked up our television because it was small enough that he could probably just pick it up under his arm. He picked up my husband's iPad, which was like a couple of months old, and then his phone, I think, or was it my daughter's phone? I think it was his phone, which was old. And then my daughter had left her bag in the hallway with like £5 or £10 in, and they stole that. She was a teenager at the time. So they didn't, what they stole wasn't of huge value in terms of the amount, because neither the telly nor the iPad was that expensive in big scheme of things. And there was nothing of sentimental value. But next to the telly, and this is why I'm telling you this, so the telly, I think we paid like about £250 for the telly. And I don't know how much the iPad mini was, but I think similar amount maybe. Next to the telly was my spinning wheel. Now that spinning wheel was worth twice as much as the telly. They didn't take the spinning wheel because obviously most people wouldn't know how much that would be worth, but they probably could have sold that spinning wheel for more than they got for the telly. Anyway, just a bit of a funny anecdote to add in there. So I'm going to take you downstairs and let's see if we can get this spinning wheel going. I will say I haven't looked up any tutorials on how to service a spinning wheel. I'm just going to give it a wipe down. I'm going to try and get the bobbin off and see if I can find my other bobbins. I know I had several. I have some fibre on there that I was spinning at the time. I have the rest of that fibre in a basket. I'm going to see what that's like. I'm probably going to, because that fibre's been on this bobbin for so long and it's dusty and I don't know, it's been on there for too long. So I'm going to take that off. If I can find another bobbin, I might just put another bobbin off and then take it off at another point. But if not, I'm going to take it off and put a new bobbin on and get that fibre. I'm going to use that fibre as kind of practice fibre to get myself back into spinning. And then I bought some fibre this week from Pixie Yarn, which will be probably my first proper spinning lot. But I want to practice on the fibre I already have because it's been lying there exposed to air for a long time. So I just need to make sure that there are no creepy crawlies in it. And then I will probably take that fibre tomorrow to practice on and then start spinning this. Let's go downstairs and see if we can get this wheel sorted out. Okay, I'm in the dining room. My wheel is here. I'm going to see if having it on the table will work. I've got my spinning basket out as well, and I thought I'd just check what's in here. And these are the new dry bands, and this is the fibre I was spinning. This bag that this fibre is in is really filthy. It's covered in dust. I'm going to put that in the bin, I think. The fibre looks okay. So the fibre I was spinning is Sweet Georgia. I used to be a member of Sweet Georgia Fibre Club for at least a couple of years, I think. I think now, because they're based in Canada, I think it would be too expensive. But at the time, it wasn't. So this is Polwarth. Polwarth, is that how you pronounce this? Silk. 85% Polwarth, 50% Tussar silk, and it was originally 100 grams. I don't know how much is left. There's quite a lot of it. So I might be able to spin that into a reasonable amount of yarn. So I'll keep that together. That is what was on there, I think. And then also in here is some other fibre. So we have my cards. Cards is what they're called. Everything in here is so dusty. We have my cards in here, which hand card is what they call, which I've never used. Well, no, that's not true. I have used them, but I just always struggle with hand carding fibre. So I haven't used them a lot, but I want to keep those because they might become useful. I have an apron which I assume I was wearing to spin because spinning is a little bit messy. That is also very, very filthy. What else is in here? Remove this portion only. Okay, what's this? Oh, this is these are my instructions, I think, that came with my wheel. And then I have a notebook. Everything is just really covered in dust, which I think I was trying to keep like some spinning notes. I have filled in, put some labels in there. I filled in the first page, so I clearly didn't get very far with that. What else is in here? Okay, so there's another spindle, bobbin, which is covered in dust. So I'm going to take that fibre off because it just, I don't know, it's covered in dust. I've got some yarn in here. I got loads of these things. I don't know why. And then I got that, which I think is from my Lacy Kate. So I need to keep that. But I got some other stuff in here. And then the bottom of the bag just looks like it has like sand in it. So I'm going to go and empty this into the bin and shake this out and then come back. Oh, and there's this fibre in here as well. And I don't know what this is, but it doesn't look great, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. Okay, so I've raised my camera a bit just when I start working on the wheel with giving it a bit of a wipe down because it's not been cleaned for a long time. It's been sitting in the lounge collecting dust, so I just got a damp cloth, which I'm going to have to go and rinse that in a minute. So I'm just wiping everything down. I don't want to turn up at the spinning group with a really filthy wheel. I need to see if I can find my bag for this as well. So I'm just going to give this all a good wipe down and then we'll do the dry ban. Okay, so I've given the wheel a bit of a wipe down. It probably needs oiling, but to be honest, I'm not 100% sure where I'm supposed to oil it. I also haven't got any, I think I would use sewing machine oil. I haven't got that. I'm assuming these bits, I don't know, you can't see that, down here. So I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be doing this, but I got some olive oil and I put my cloth underneath it. I'm just gonna, oh, that was way too much. Just gonna, let's just rub some olive oil, all the way onto my cloth. Just rub that on there. Then we'll just rub the rest on the wooden part. Okay, pretty sure you're not supposed to use olive oil, but anyway. While I was upstairs, I found this basket, which I bought quite a few years ago. I wanted to show someone to, and it's been at the top of my cupboard for years. I'm going to use this as a makeshift spinning basket. I need to keep these, I don't know if they'll fit in here. There we go. They will, no, they're a bit big to go in there. They will kind of fit if I put them like that. Don't know whether that will stand upright, but, and I don't know what that is. We'll pop that in there because I'm pretty sure that's for my lacy cape. Let's show you how. I haven't done this, I guess, since I got the wheel. So let's move it down a bit. So I'm going to take this bottom one off first, because I think I need to do that in order to get this one on. And this one goes around. Okay, this is supposed to go up here, so I'm going to put it on there and then spin this. No, that didn't work. So I don't remember what these top ones, I'll show you those in a minute. Okay, so let's see if we can get this all the way around. It's quite tight. There we go. We got it on. So these top ones here, I think that's to do with, they're called ratios. How thick or thin you want to spin the yarn. Let's have a look. Small as well, 12.75 to 1. Large as well, 4.5 to 1. To spin wool fibers, use the whirl grooves closest to you, as these are the lowest ratios. As you change to fine fibers such as merino, silk, cotton, etc., use the grooves furthest away from you, and they are the higher ratios. So you use these ones for finer yarn and these ones for more coarse yarn, I guess. So this wheel came with a bag, and it's supposed to fold down. I don't know how you fold it down, but it's got like a big bag. And I want to take, it would be easy tomorrow just to carry it out of my car like this and pop it in my car, but because I can park, I should be able to park right outside the hall, but I haven't been there for a long time, so I don't know. So I'm going to try and take this off. Couldn't get it to spin, so what I did was I put it on the table on top of a wooden board I have there, and I poured loads of olive oil over it, and then I just used I moved the foot pedals. Okay, I'm getting really hot playing with this wheel. This isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I'm sweating and I got a massage in a few minutes. So I'm going to go and cool down a bit. And I'm going to leave the wheel out and have a bit of a practice tonight. I think the problem is I need to get the treadling right. That clunky noise you can hear is my pedals, which probably means that I'm not doing something right. So I need to get that right. so I'm going to have another go tonight. So I realised that I never actually got back to filming what I thought of the spinning group I went to. So I'm really glad I went, because I've been thinking about going for a while and just not quite getting around to it. I don't know, I didn't think about it in January. February and March I couldn't go. I think I was teaching or something. Put it in my calendar that I would go for the April spinning group, and I'm really glad I did. I knew that I know several people who go there regularly, but some of these people weren't there. But there were several people there I knew, and everybody else were really, really friendly, and I really enjoyed it. I chatted to quite a few people. I did quite a lot of spinning. I think some people probably socialise more than they spin, but I really wanted to take advantage of that time to spin. There was a lady there who had the same wheel as me, so I spoke to her because my wheel is making like a clunking noise, and I wasn't sure that that was just my wheel, whether there's something wrong with it, or whether that's just what the little gem is like. I do seem to remember when I had it, when I used it before I stopped using it 10 years ago, that it was a little bit kind of clunking noise when I was treadling, but it seemed like a lot worse. So I spoke to this lady. She said, yes, they are a little bit noisy, but it shouldn't be as bad as yours. But wheels don't like not being used, basically. So I've been using it and it seems to be getting better. It could also be that my treadling is getting better, or my foot position is getting better. My spinning improved a lot while I was there, and my singles look really lovely. I was quite impressed with how good my singles looked, really. They were much, much finer and more even. So I did really enjoy it, and I will be going back. I will be joining up as a member. I can't go in May because I'm going to be away, but I will be going in June, and I may also possibly be able to go in July. I'm not sure yet, but I think July and August I should be able to go. So I'm definitely going to join, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I went along. I think it's important for me to go to a group, especially because I am still a bit of very much a novice spinner, if not a complete beginner spinner again. So it's a week and a bit. It's Monday today, so it was a week on Saturday since I went to my local spinning group, and I spun a bit on the Sunday, and then I didn't spin much for a few days, and then the last few days I've tried to spin a little bit every day. I had quite a bit of fibre left, or probably I didn't weigh it. I'd say like 50 grams or more maybe, but I don't know. But I've spun all that. I decided to spin it all on one bobbin. My plan originally was to just spin it and then probably ditch it. I didn't think it was going to be good enough to do anything with, but it's looking good. I'm impressed with this, considering the fact that I haven't spun for 10 years. It's quite fine. It's relatively even. You know, it's hand spun, so it's not going to be 100% even unless you're really, really good. So that's what I've spun. I had to dig up my lacy Kates, and I knew I had two, and I thought I knew where they were, and they were where I thought they were, but they had loads of stuff piled on top of them. So I was a bit worried they were going to be broken. But I found my travel ones. I think this is a travel one. They're both, I think they are both Major Craft. Oh yeah, they're both Major Craft. Just checking if it had Major Craft logo on it, which it does here. So this is a travel one. It's not tension. It's got room for two. So I got two bobbins on here, because I also knew I had several bobbins. I have this one plus another one downstairs, which is full of old singles I need to take off. Two here, and then I got one here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bobbins in total. I thought I had more, but that's enough. And then I also found my proper lacy K. So this is a tensioned one, and it's got room for 3 bobbins, and it has these. I have one of these. I found one of these downstairs. I think you're supposed to have one for each bobbin if you're spinning a 3-ply yarn. Things I was really struggling with when I was spinning before was chain plying, and at the spinning group they did a workshop in the afternoon, and somebody did a talk and demonstration on plying, and she did talk about chain plying, and she made it look so easy. So the yarn I'd spun up, because I had just a small amount of fibre, I'd never weighed it, so I don't know how much it is. But it wasn't a lot. So I was going to just spin it and then chuck it. Basically, I thought I just use it to spin it and I won't actually ply up the yarn. And then I thought, no, I'll use that to practice chain plying. Well, I don't know what it was, but then my wheel's not used to going in the other direction, because if you're not the spinner, when you spin the singles, your wheel goes in one direction, and when you ply it, it goes in the other direction. But I was really struggling. It just felt like it did the day before I went to the spinning group and I first got my wheel out to try and spin. It was just really clunky. And eventually I got it going and I had a go, but singles kept breaking. I kept trying to stop and start, and it was just not good. I wasn't enjoying it, and it was just not good. So then I broke off I put on a very, very long leader, and I just practiced just getting the wheel to spin in the anti-clockwise direction. And so I got that, and then I actually split because I spun all the singles onto one bobbin, so I split it onto 2 bobbins. So I just ran roughly halfway through the wheel again. I didn't weigh it too accurately. I just did roughly half through the wheel, so it looked like they were about even. And then I apply those together, and this is the yarn I got. And I did find plying difficult, I must admit. And this yarn is not good, so it is very underplied. I don't know whether you can see it. There are areas like this, I don't know how easy it is to see, it is quite underplied, but that are fairly even, and then you've got other areas like this that are a bit thick and thin. So overall it's very mixed. There are some really, really bad sections, unless obviously you want that deliberately, and there are some very nice and even sections, but the yarn is very, very underplied. I think it is roughly balanced, but it is very, very underplied. I did finish it last night, which was soaking it and then like giving it a lot of thwacking, I think they call it. I just did that a few times all the way around. You are supposed to like whack it against something, but I didn't do that. I was thinking if I could chain ply it, maybe knit up a swatch just to see what it knitted up like. I'm not going to bother knitting this up because I think it's underplied. I think, meaning it hasn't got enough twist in it. I think if I had realized what it was like before I wound it into a skein, I might have just run it through my wheel again. I know you can do that if you have too little or too much twist in it. You can run it through your wheel again and add more twist. I probably should have done that, but I didn't realize till I started winding it into a skein that what it was like. Most people use a knitting knot to wind it into a skein. It's by far the easiest way to wind it into a skein, I think. I had a knitting knot. I've got a feeling I still have it somewhere, but I have no idea. So we'll see if it turns up. So I used my skein holder, my Swift, that's what it's called, and I wound it on that, but it's not as easy. But because it's a small skein, I haven't weighed it, so I don't know how much it weighs, but my guess would be like 30-40 grams maybe. But I might just hang this up on the wall as a reminder that I am spinning again, and I've managed to make applied yarn. And if I was a complete beginner, I'd be happy with this, but because I'm comparing it to what I was producing 10 years ago, I'm not happy with it. But anyway, at least I did apply it. Hoping that this will become a regular monthly spinning vlog. I'm hoping to do 1 video a month. If I do a lot of spinning, maybe I will do 2 a month, but I may also sometimes include it in my regular weekly Confessions of a Yarn Addict podcast. But I am thinking I might keep a lot of the spinning to a separate monthly spinning vlog. So I'm going to start the next one after this. So this will be the April vlog. And then I will start another one for May. I'm going to be away quite a bit in May, so I don't know how much I'll get done, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any top spinning tips, let me know. Do you spin? Did you come back to spinning after a long break? If you have any tips to share, please share them. And if you have any YouTube channels that you think are really good for learning spinning techniques, let me know. I don't know if you can link other channels in the comments, because I think YouTube might think it's spamming. So you can just put the name of the channel and then I'll find them. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I'll see you next time.